I'm the dude. So that's what you call me.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah, not since I was 10.
Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Come on to the coast. We get together, have a few laughs.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Can I return it if it doesn't fit?
It always fits. Eventually.
Welcome back to Movie Mingle. I'm Caveman.
And I'm Maggie.
And today we're on episode 24, asterisk. It is also episode 99 of our regular episodes that we had planned.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, our 120th episode, or I should say our 120th upload.
Yeah.
Since we had bonus episodes and Oscar talk and Deadpool Wolverine time. We've got all sorts of different
there's so many different numbers, but ultimately.
So we do have a lot of downloads out there to choose from. But ultimately, yes, this is our 99th episode.
99! Annoying! I'm gonna keep doing it until you guys chime in. Annoying! 99! 99!
The 99.
We're the 99. 99!
99.
99.
The 99.
99!
99! Chills, you guys. Literally chills.
Yeah, episode 24. Our second to the last episode for the season.
It doesn't feel like we've done everything that we've done this season. Like, I guess we'll talk about this next week, but I don't remember watching Zootopia. Or
Zootopia was a while ago.
One battle after another. That was just, it was so long ago.
Yeah,
and
that was back in March.
Somehow we're also already
we're recording in
here
February or whatever we did.
Yeah.
It's already August.
It's already
August 1st as we are recording this episode.
I don't like it. Happy Swiss Independence Day to all my most beloved Swiss listeners out there. Switzerland's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes. But the day that we're recording this, not the day that it's dropped. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a different day.
A different day, yes.
For this our last live action film.
Yeah.
We watched the Royal Tenenbaums.
Yes, we did. I finally got you to sit down and watch it with me again.
Again. It's like we've watched this together many times.
No, I wouldn't say many times.
Well,
I mean,
how
personally,
many is many? I feel like 5 is many.
I don't think we've watched this movie 5 times together.
Okay. This might have been our 3rd or 4th
Maybe. I chose this movie because it is my favorite Wes Anderson movie. Or is it? Bum, bum, bum. No, yeah, it still is. I still fucking love this movie. I have a different view of it now that I'm a little bit older. But I chose this movie. It was always one of my favorites. And when we first started dating, Caveman was like, ugh. And I was like, I'm sorry, ugh? And he was like, ugh. Was it all Wes Anderson or was it just this movie?
It was mainly this movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I had seen many of his movies.
Yes. I mean, this was my first trip onto Anderson's shores.
This was also my first trip Wes Anderson film.
Whereas I saw something that was like very cute and whimsical and clever. You just were bored by it?
I didn't understand the whimsy of it,
Yeah.
the way Wes Anderson directs. I didn't understand the editing. I didn't understand Wes Anderson.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And because I was very new to that kind of style, this was baby Steve.
Most people.
This was early 20s. I don't know anything about film.
Onto for Wes Anderson. A lot of people saw Bottle Rocket, but not a lot of people saw Bottle Rocket.
I still hadn't seen Bottle Rocket.
And same with Rushmore. Those are 2 films, because I haven't seen Rushmore since I was a teenager. I don't think I've seen Bottle Rocket since I was a teenager. I would be interested to revisit those, and maybe for, another podcast on another day. I thought this movie was charming as hell, and he didn't. This guy that I thought was so cute and was super into didn't like a movie that I loved, and there was a moment of like,
maybe
deal breaker.
Maybe I shouldn't.
That's a deal breaker, ladies. No, I just was like, fuck you, I like it. Deal with it. And he did.
And I did.
And then I think one time or another, he eventually surprised me with the Criterion Collection version of it, which now that I think about is my first real true Criterion Collection film was the Royal Tenenbaums and not Inside Llewyn Davis. And
you have two.
And now I have two, although one of the cases is missing, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. We grew together as a couple and as human beings, and you grew to like Wes Anderson a bit more. And now we're here.
I think it helped. I really like, and I probably could say my favorite Wes Anderson film,
Life Aquatic.
Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
See, now I don't like that movie
because I love all those actors
as much as one thinks that I should. I feel like I'm supposed to like the Life Aquatic more than I do. I feel like people
I don't think Life Aquatic
are always like, "Oh, you don't like that?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." It would be interesting.
I always feel like people aren't into that one compared to other Wes Anderson films.
Well, I mean,
don't
nowadays.
get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like we've watched
a few
of them.
Yeah, for the show, folks. You can go back and listen to our Grand Budapest Hotel and Fantastic Mr. Fox. And any of the
that was
those
it.
Two, yeah.
This is our third Wes Anderson film.
Maybe one day we'll revisit all of his films and have a different opinion on the rankings and whatnot. Obviously, Grand Budapest is an incredible film. Fantastic Mr. Fox is just so delightful and so sweet. I didn't like Isle of Dogs as much as I feel like.
I was expecting another Fantastic Mr. Fox type movie. I think a lot of people were.
Isle of Dogs as much as.
Occasionally, I'd run across somebody who was really into it. I'm just like,
and then I
good
haven't
for
even.
you. I'm glad that you got something out of it.
I didn't even bother with Meteor City or
Asteroid City.
Yeah, that one.
I thought it was charming.
Yeah.
It wasn't like his.
The man has a particular style.
I've heard great things about French Dispatch, but
I've heard such good things about the French Dispatch, and we've never seen it. Maybe on our next list of films.
I mean, I like Moonrise Kingdom.
Moonrise Kingdom. I've only seen that twice, but it is a very sweet film. Here's the other thing too. I haven't watched these movies in years.
Oh sure,
like years.
I try not to watch a lot of Wes Anderson back to back to back because it can get
back to back to back.
It can get a little just too much Wes Anderson.
He definitely has a look. He has a style. He has a way to him. For most people, I kind of feel like this was their gateway drug. Because at this point, he was big enough. And I remember them really pushing this film, too.
This movie also doesn't have a lot of his sets yet.
No, this is it's still him trying to figure out his style and his look. But it's somehow both concentrated Wes Anderson and, weak tea Wes Anderson. It is this weird. This movie is somehow you watch it these days and you're like, oh my god, I get where he was going, and I definitely see where he was ramping up to, and also he could have done more, which is a funny thing to see that he could have gone further with the sets and everything in this film. I don't remember a lot of Rushmore, so I don't remember the look of it, but this
I don't remember
is
the look of Rushmore.
Fucking whimsical and very much the beginning of him learning
I feel
how
like
to do
this
his
is
thing.
Unless Rushmore had a bunch of that kind of feel to it.
I don't really genuinely don't think it does, but I don't know. I guess
but yeah, this was definitely when you see the editing style, the way he introduces characters, or
the costumes everybody wears,
or items, or that kind of really Wes Anderson things that he does with sets and props and fonts.
Sounds and,
everything.
Yeah, I mean just him, the way he just does his story,
and it's gotten more and more and more the way
it has, and then
his films progress.
Whether or not people are still kind of into his shtick kind of remains to be seen. I really, Robin, I swear to God, if you bite me, I'm gonna kick you right off this table. I really enjoyed the Roald Dahl stories that he told with Benedict Cumberbatch on Netflix. If you haven't listened or watched the Wes Anderson, the wonderful story of Henry Sugar, and then there's a couple other ones.
There's a couple others.
Yeah, but he wrote, Wes Anderson wrote and directed, or adapted, I guess you could say, and directed 3 or 4 short stories by Roald Dahl. The cast is solid. Benedict Cumberbatch is in all of them in some capacity, a lot of his regulars. Joseph Friend, the poor man's Orley, is in it. I love him. No, it's fantastic, and I really, really enjoy it. It's very whimsical and very sweet. And maybe that's just it when it comes to Wes Anderson. Maybe it got to be a little bit too much, his whimsy and his, like, goofiness. But he still puts out a movie every, like, handful of years. They're always sweet. They're always life-affirming and charming. And I love this story. And as I was sitting there watching this movie the other day, racked with grief, because we watched it on the day that my beloved Glenn Hansard died. So I was just, already a wreck, folks. I cried myself sick that day. I cried so hard I gave myself a bloody nose, actually, a couple of them. I was crying so hard. So it was a rough day, but I knew that in Glenn's spirit, he wants people to make art, and so we were appreciating somebody else's art. So I was sitting there having a bad headache, and the way that your eyes sting from dryness after you've cried for too long, and just not feeling great, and not really feeling watching a movie too. But then as I was watching this family play out before me, all I could think was just like, oh shit, now I know why I like this movie so much. Because it hits a little close to home, and we'll get to that a little bit later. It was really fun to rewatch this. I'm glad that we did, even if, I was very raw and emotionally charged to that day. But, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And my sweet husband, Caveman, has come around on the Royal Tenenbaums, I'd like to think. And I think that you appreciated it a little bit more now that you know, I think, what to expect.
Not just what to expect, but...
And how to watch a Wes Anderson film. Because that's something else that he had to teach us. He had to teach us how to, like, handle his creativity and his style.
Yeah, but, there were plenty of people who instantly were just enthralled. And
yeah, there were, but
I'm just not...
You're not as whimsical a human being as I am, so of course I was going to lean into this.
Not 20 years ago.
Not 20 years ago, no.
Over 20. This movie's 25 years old now.
But these days, sometimes he out-whimsies me.
Wes Anderson got his first and only Oscar so far from The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
Oh, yeah.
For Best Short Film.
Yeah.
He has been nominated another 7 times for writing, producing, and directing his films. He shares one of those nominations with Owen Wilson. Yes, Owen Wilson is an Oscar nominee.
Yes, he is.
For co-writing this movie. Obviously, it wasn't his first. It wasn't their first outing as a writing duo either, because they co-wrote not just Bottle Rocket, but the Bottle Rocket short.
I love that Owen Wilson can be this like ultimate goofball. Like he is so fucking goofy and like Zoolander, right? Or the Shanghai Night films. Like he's such this like just incandescent goofball comedian, and then he can play serious well, as we saw in Loki and a handful of other things. But I also love that he does have this incredibly creative and whimsical side of him that his friend, his like childhood friend Wes Anderson helps bring out in them.
Yeah,
I'm always down for an Owen Wilson, Wes Anderson, an Owen Anderson project. Yes.
Owen Wes.
Owen
Anderson
Wes.
Wilson.
Yeah, Anderson Wilson.
Mark Mothersbaugh did the music for Royal Tenenbaums, as he does many of the music for Wes Anderson films. If you don't know who Mark Mothersbaugh is, he's one of the members of Devo, not the founding members, but one of the...
Whip it good.
Yes, one of those guys. Obviously was with them in the 70s and 80s and split up with them and then got back together and split up and got back together.
Yeah, Devo's gone through many a different version of themselves.
Besides playing in Devo, Mark Mothersbaugh has also been a film and television composer for the last 40 years.
I know one of his off the top of my head.
101 television projects and 113 films.
Yeah, the guy's prolific. He did Ragnarok.
He did.
He did Thor Ragnarok, yeah.
He also did Minecraft movie.
Because of course.
This year he did the Pixar film Hoppers.
I heard good things about that.
So did I.
Yeah.
On television, he did What We Do in the Shadows and Our Flag Means Death.
Oh my God, his music for Our Flag Means Death is great. But as a staunch Our Flag supporter, literally everything about that show was perfect. But the music was really, really fun.
And of course, like Maggie said, Ragnarok and Life Aquatic.
Yeah.
And
just many
other Wes Anderson films.
Yeah.
And many other movies.
Yeah.
Like I said,
he's a pretty prolific musician. And
over 200 projects.
Yeah. And he's out there. He's still doing it. Like, good for him, man.
Cinematography was from Robert D. Yeoman.
Now, has he done a lot of Wes Anderson stuff?
We talked about him before when we did Grand Budapest.
Okay. Yeah, because those movies have such a particular look to them.
Yeah. It's the Wes Anderson look, and it's not just, it's the cinematographer for sure. And Wes Anderson himself.
Yeah, he's a very strong visionary
obviously,
director.
I mean, like I said, they have pretty much done every movie together, and he was nominated for Grand Budapest.
I love the cinematography of Wes Anderson, but I love it in this film. I think this film is so beautifully shot. And again, you know, it is very much him trying to really hone his style and his look and his story, but it comes across so strong. And it's really a beautiful thing.
He also was the cinematographer for Kevin Smith's Dogma.
Oh, Dogma looks great. The man's
It's one of Kevin Smith's best-looking films.
I mean, it is in general, I think, his best film. A lot of people talk about Chasing Amy. I've always found Chasing Amy to be pretentious and so boring.
To me, it's Dogma and Clerks.
Yeah.
I think are the two. And
his two best.
Even his cinematographer from Clerks went off to do great things.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. Dogma is my favorite Kevin Smith movie. And I think Mallrats is second, but it's not because of how Mallrats looks. Although Mallrats looks great.
Mallrats, it's about the comedy.
Yeah, it's about the comedy.
And
it was
cameos.
Yeah, the absurdity of Mallrats is just so wonderful. The back of a Volkswagen? But Dogma's a beautiful film. Yeah, this guy's what is his name again?
Robert Yeoman.
Robert Yeoman. He's a fantastic cinematographer, and we are better off for his work, definitely.
Rotten Tomatoes gives Royal Tenenbaums 81% from critics and 89% from audiences.
Yeah, I see that it's kind of a solid B movie.
Well.
Yeah, and then there's the IMDb score.
Letterboxd gave it a 4.1 out of 5, Metascore of 76, and a 7.6 on IMDb. Brings it to an average of 81%, which is what the critics gave it on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's a solid sort of B-tier film.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the best thing that Wes Anderson's ever done, but it's still my favorite.
It's still a beautiful movie with
charm and
great characters.
Yeah.
I find myself invested in each one of them. Especially this time, I really tried to pay attention to like the way they were brought up. I completely understand Margot's point of view.
Oh, poor Margot.
Right?
And poor Chaz, too.
I mean,
all of them. They all have...
They're all so fucked up. And mainly because of their dad.
Yeah, well, you know.
You wouldn't know anything about that. People out there wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
It's a very popular tale.
It's very strange to be watching a movie that you've seen several times and to be watching a movie and then all of a sudden click in on the main character and be like, oh shit, that's my father. Like, after this movie came out in 2001. So yeah, 25 years. I would say by the time I got around to seeing it, probably 23 years. 24 years, right, of my life watching this film. And just the other day, I was like, holy shit, this is kind of like my family. I mean, first of all, remove the incest part. That never happened. The dynamic...
I'm glad that never happened.
Yeah, the dynamic of two boys and the girl being like the ultimate outsider. The way the father acts... And the schemes that he comes up with, the way he talks to people, the way he talks about people.
The way he's so comfortable with just being like, just do it this way, it's easy. Just do this, just do that.
Yeah, there's a certain sort of conniving... Cockiness and deep intelligence back there.
Well, it's...
At least in Royal's case.
It's almost like almost what you would call street intelligence. Or, what do you
he's
call
very
it?
street smart.
Street smart.
Yeah.
And...
Street smarts.
But from his kind of, I mean, he's this rich guy. He's not like, he's just a rich white guy, but he's still a smart man, but from his world. Yeah. His worldview is very
skewed and wrong.
Yes.
But somehow in his head totally right and totally it's supposed to be.
And the way he talks about like everything he's done was the right thing to do.
Oh yeah,
and it's like
definitely.
Why is everybody so upset by what I've done.
Yeah.
I did everything right.
Yeah.
And
Oh, absolutely doesn't believe they ever committed single thing. They've never done
until the
anything
very
wrong in
very
their
end
life.
of this movie,
Yeah.
and then there were still like some I don't know if he completely
Turned himself
around.
Yeah.
It did seem very like the end of Christmas Carol, towards the end, where he's just so giddy
Yeah.
and happy, and he's passing out apologies, kind of like
Yeah,
Scrooge with his
maybe he did learn
goose.
from his mistakes. Maybe he just learned the right thing to say. We'll keep talking about Royal as we go along this podcast. But if my dad had have been born in New York with more money, my life would have been, and my mom somehow still met him, my life would have been very Tenenbaum-esque. Let's just say that. Because it's just really crazy to watch this story, and with the clarity I have about my family and my upbringing, to look at this movie and be like, that's why I liked it so much. Like, it wasn't the whimsy, it wasn't, Luke Wilson's face, although it does have some to do with Luke Wilson's face. He's got such
not
a
a
cute
terrible
face.
thing to look
No.
at, especially in this movie.
Oh, he's so cute in this movie. It's like he's never looked hotter except for that episode of The X-Files when he plays the country bumpkin vampire.
I never liked Luke Wilson until I saw Old School.
Oh. Yeah, he's pretty
Just
charming in
because
that.
he's funny.
Yeah.
He's like the straight man who just wants to be left alone, kind of, but then his goofball out of
It's
this
been a very
world
long time
kind
since
of
I've seen that film.
roommates
Yeah.
go overboard.
Yeah.
Or not even roommates, just friends.
Yeah.
It has been a long time, but he is really funny in that movie. The Royal Tenenbaums was made for $28 million. It made 52.
That's a pretty modest size hit.
Yeah, especially for him.
Yeah.
And 19 internationally.
Okay.
It had good sales on DVD
Yeah.
and is still traded on VHS if you have an original from 2001.
Oh, wow.
It's a highly traded VHS. Yes, there is a Criterion collect. There is a DVD, and later on they did do a Blu-ray Criterion, but the regular Blu-ray made $3 million. There was no information on like DVDs and VHS, but the Blu-ray itself made $3 million. But that brings us to over $74 million for a little Wes Anderson film, especially
then,
25
yeah.
years
When it
ago.
was his, third film, essentially, and, first big commercial hit, or at least big commercial push. Because I know that Rushmore did well enough to bring him into the spotlight as an indie filmmaker, and it got people to know him in a much more sort of public way. And then this movie was like the big push of like, hey guys, you've heard about him. Now here you go.
Now come see him.
And you sit down and you're like, what the fuck? Why are there Dalmatian mice? What is happening? I love it.
Just for perspective, Grand Budapest Hotel was made for $31 million.
Yeah.
So just a tiny bit more, but made $163 million worldwide.
Yeah, that's...
Big
that was
movie for
peak
him.
Anderson, too. Like, that was... Grand Budapest is sort of his pinnacle, I think. I don't think he really got bigger than that. But you know what? He will again. It's like, he does great stuff. We love you.
Yeah, he's
Come on
like
the
we
show.
said, he comes out with things like almost...
Yeah, pretty
It's
regularly.
like every other year almost.
And for the most part, I've heard very little, again, and I keep my ears to the grindstone when it comes to celebrity gossip because I love the chisme. But I'm a little bit of a chismosa, as they say. But I haven't heard really anybody complaining about working with Wes Anderson unless you don't fit into his style. There have been some actors who just kind of haven't meshed with the Wes Anderson sort of vibe.
Are they the ones that have only worked with him once?
Yeah, in some cases, yeah. Well, definitely, probably in most cases. Like, I don't know how, like, Bruce Willis handled working with him. I don't know stories about that, but I do know stories about Gene Hackman not enjoying the process. I think it kind of comes down to, like, if you're not into his sort of shtick and style and, like, whimsy, you're going to have a much harder time as opposed to just, like, sitting back and being like, let's go play in this toy box. Oh, it'd be so much fun to play in his toy box.
It received 11 awards and another 46 nominations.
Decent.
The one Oscar nomination was for Best Original Screenplay. We talked about Amelie 2 weeks ago because they were also nominated in this category the same year.
Up against each other, yeah.
And Christopher Nolan's Memento also, and Monsters Ball. Like we said in our Amelie episode, Gosford Park won that year.
You know, that honestly, nobody had prepared for it and nobody had expected it. But it is interesting to find how much like lighthearted, whimsical, like joyous fare there was right around 9/11 to sort of help people.
There's some really good movies that came out in 2001, which are obviously filmed way before.
Way before. Yeah, planned way before. Yeah, but it definitely was sort of like, oh, good. At least our art, the world of our art is okay. You know, at least life in Middle Earth is doing all right.
We talked about Gene Hackman during our Birdcage episode, our bonus episode that we did for Pride like 2-3 years ago. I don't know,
which is randomly one of our biggest episodes. So
it was.
You. If
it
you
was one of our most listened to episodes.
Our Birdcage episode, I'd like to think it was a really fun time.
He won a Golden Globe for Best Actor for this movie. He also got Oscars and Golden Globes for his roles in Unforgiven and The French Connection, which are essentially his two biggest movies that he, as far as like what he's known for as well.
Yeah.
Even though he's been in so many movies, and there are so many that I love. I would probably say though, Crimson Tide is.
You do love Crimson Tide.
Probably my favorite Gene Hackman movie.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, the Makeup and Costume Guilds gave awards to this movie for those Guild Award shows. So
interesting.
I just wanted to, since they didn't win like, Best Picture or whatever, all the grandest of prizes. I just wanted to highlight some of the ones, especially Gene Hackman's work.
I mean, this is his film. And despite the fact that he didn't necessarily get on too well with Wes Anderson and he didn't enjoy the filmmaking process, this is his film. He is Royal Tenenbaum. It is the Royal Tenenbaums. Like, his character is almost unbelievable if I didn't happen to know more than a couple versions of a real-life Royal Tenenbaum. Because it's not just my dad. It's my Aunt Stick and, like, 1,000 other people. But, or at least I should say, 1,000 other family members.
Well, since we're talking about Gene Hackman, might as well just talk about the cast. Gene Hackman, he's great.
Yeah, and, he died so unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was a really sad story that came out surrounding the death of Gene Hackman last year. Sort of legendary asshole. God, he was born in San Bernardino.
Is it really?
Yes. Which somehow makes a lot more sense.
Just so everybody's aware, San Bernardino is the same county that I was born in.
Yes.
So, and it is a
San Bernardino's where my
dry,
dad
brown
grew
wasteland.
Up. It actually was the site of the first McDonald's.
Good for them.
Yeah. When it comes to Gene Hackman films, I would say my favorite would be The Birdcage, because he is just incandescently funny in that fucking movie, and that movie is perfection across just the entire board. He has done a lot of westerns and dad movies because he was one of my father's favorite actors, so I associate him entirely with dad movies. I don't know if my father has seen the Royal Tenenbaums. I don't think this is the type of film that he would like. I also could see him being like, well, Gene Hackman's in it, so we'll give it a shot. It would definitely be interesting to sit down with my dad and watch this film. But yeah, we've talked about him before. He's done a lot of great stuff. He was kind of famously an asshole, but he was also a tired, exhausted man. And it makes sense. I would love to see The French Connection because I've never seen it. I've never seen the original Poseidon Adventure. I do know that another little trivia bit about this film is that Ben Stiller approached Gene Hackman towards the end of filming to be like, hey, by the way, I really loved the Poseidon Adventure and it's what made me want to get into being a filmmaker and a movie star, or and an actor. And Gene Hackman's response was just like, I just did that movie for a paycheck, and then didn't talk to Ben Stiller for the rest of the shoot.
Oh, man.
Like, famously, he was a huge prick on set. He was such a prick on set that Bill Murray would have to come in on his days off and just kind of like linger in case the verbal abuse from Gene Hackman towards Anderson like got too bad. Like they Bill Murray had to basically become the go-between between them, which is very interesting. And I had never heard those stories until just recently. I'm really glad that Wes Anderson had people on his set that were there to protect him and stand up from the other actors that were like, hey man, chill the fuck out. Like, Angelica Houston, too, was like, fucking calm down, guy. Like, stop. And I always think it's interesting when you've got this one sort of, like, huge asshole that everybody else has to placate and smooth over until he leaves, and then suddenly you can breathe again and life feels a little bit better for a couple of weeks before he comes home again. And then it becomes stifling terror.
The same year this movie came out, another movie with Gene Hackman and Owen Wilson together was Behind Enemy Lines, which I don't think there's a single moment except for maybe at the very end of the movie, which is probably took less than a day to shoot, which is when they finally.
Are you talking about this film or Behind Enemy Lines?
Behind Enemy Lines.
Oh, I haven't seen Behind Enemy Lines since maybe it came out. Have I seen Behind Enemy Lines? I don't remember.
But what I'm saying is, there's only that last moment where they actually meet.
Oh, spoilers.
The rest of the movie is, Owen Wilson's trying to get home.
Because he is.
He's like a Matt Damon.
Because he's what?
He's behind enemy lines. Wink, wink.
And isn't Gene Hackman like the guy on the phone getting him home or the radio or whatnot?
He's like he's the boss. He's whatever rank that would be on a Navy ship.
Rabble.
Captain?
Commander?
I don't know. Sure.
Captain. Right? Is there anything above Captain on a naval ship?
I've never been on a naval ship.
Yeah, that is true.
We love Gene Hackman. We miss Gene Hackman. I miss seeing movies from him, unless it was like, towards the end, his last movie was Welcome to Mooseport.
Yeah.
Which was not a good movie.
No.
It was just a paycheck.
I feel like he retired right around the right time.
It was, I think he retired before Mooseport, or maybe it was right
it was right after, ended,
which makes sense. Why? Yeah, he did. Of course. It was able to have
a life with his wife.
Yeah, there was no reason for him to keep
going. But no, he was a spectacular actor and really I don't want to be like, oh, he was a once in a generation voice.
I mean,
but I don't think we're gonna get a lot of actors like him.
I don't know if there are any even in his age or even
the modern equivalent of his age, because he's always the old man too, right? That's
he always has.
I mean, he's been.
There's been a few movies where he's definitely younger, but a lot of the movies that he's famous for, known for, is when he was older.
Yeah.
And actors in that age range. I mean, it's because now Brad Pitt's that age, and
but Brad Pitt is not.
No, he's not doing those movies, and he's not doing that acting.
He doesn't have those skills.
He had a presence to him.
Gene Hackman,
the way he talked, the way he delivered lines, held himself.
That voice too, that sort of gravelly voice of his.
Commanding, like when he yelled. Yeah. Like, he doesn't yell in this movie. He gets loud, but not like his yelling voice.
No, his yelling voice was something
very
spectacular.
Different. And
Well, rest in peace to one of the greats.
He is once in a generation kind of actor. Angelica Houston. I'm trying to remember what I probably saw Angelica Houston in first. I mean, Addams Family was definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I saw The Witches.
I don't think I've
when
ever
it
seen
came
The
out. I
Witches.
have seen her.
Yeah.
I've seen her original version, not the newer one with, was it Anne Hathaway or somebody?
Oh, I think it was Anne Hathaway.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have seen the original, and it's weird, and the body horror and faces and prosthetics are all really creepy.
Not something that I'm going to watch. She was in Lonesome Dove, which I've said before is like mom catnip. Especially my mom. She fucking loved Lonesome Dove. I couldn't tell you a thing about it. It's a big Western thing, but it was her fucking world. Angelica Houston is a great actress. She's done a lot. I mean, of course, her in Addams Family. I mean, she was just stunning in that. She is a Roman Polanski supporter / apologist, because ew. But, she has done a lot of tremendous work throughout the years. And she's just this statuesque, strong female character actress. And she's great in everything that she's in. Women my age who are, in their 40s on the outside, but in the inside, they're just a teenage girl just wanting somebody to appreciate them. Fucking love Ever After, A Cinderella Story. I haven't seen that movie in a very long time. And I always remember it just being fine. Like, it's cute. It's fine. I was more of the Romeo and Juliet girl over Cinderella. I don't know. It's a fine film. But there is a large subset of late millennial women who fucking love that movie. And I'm glad for them, because we all deserve a fairy tale to fall in love with.
She is a Oscar-winning actress for. She got Best Actress award for Prizzi's Honor, which I have definitely not seen. I think Angelica Houston is another one of those actresses who's just brings such a great presence to her roles.
She's a fabulous presence as an actress, and she's still, oh god, I mean, she even did Up to Isle of Dogs. I'm trying to see if she's still like kicking it with and she mostly does voice work, it looks like, these days. She did a voice for both Star Wars Visions and Star Wars The Bad Batch. She has done some episodes of American Dad. She was the narrator for The French Dispatch. She was in a couple episodes of BoJack Horseman. And she does have some upcoming stuff. So good for you, Angelica Houston. You're still out there. You're still doing it. Just rethink your friendship with Roman Polanski, please. I know you're listening, so,
Some friendships are just worth breaking off.
Yeah. I mean, if Seth Rogen can drop fucking James Franco as fast as he did, and he dropped him fast, that motherfucker was like, he's dead to me, fuck him. Like, gone. Like, and they were besties.
Well,
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes, Gwyneth, yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow. We've talked about her a bunch, too. The main problem with continuing this podcast is that certainly we will...
some repeats?
Yeah, we've talked about some of these people once or twice.
I mean, she's famously known for things like Shakespeare in Love and Emma and...
being Blythe Danner's daughter.
Being Pepper Potts in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And...
I've talked about this before when Gwyneth Paltrow has come up because, and Aaron Eckhart for that matter. But they did a little movie in 2002 called Possession about these two Edwardian British authors who fall in love and have a secret romance and a secret daughter. And this whole beautiful and tragic love story is... uncovered by grad students Gwyneth Paltrow and Aaron Eckhart, her doing an atrocious British accent back when she used to do an atrocious British accent in almost every film she was in. Aaron Eckhart just, Aaron Eckhart, just bumbling around Eckhart style. Love him, by the way. Think he's great. And so they discover it in the modern day, and it's stupid and it's cheesy, and I fucking love it. I love it. I love that movie. I would watch it tonight if I found that it was streaming somewhere. So that's definitely my favorite of hers. I love her as Pepper Potts. I think that she only works in those movies because of her chemistry with Robert Downey Jr. And not that she's bad when they're not together on screen. I'm just, if anybody else had been Iron Man, I don't think she would have worked half as well as Pepper Potts. Because I just think that her and RDJ have such chemistry that you believe it. And there was a while there where she was just kind of like annoyingly gooping all over the place. She's just gooping everywhere. And I was too poor and too smart to understand the gloop of it all. The goop of it all. Like the vagina candle. You want to know the secret behind the vagina candle? Is that somebody created this candle that had like a weird floral scent, and nobody liked it. So they slapped on a sticker saying, "This candle smells like my vagina." And Gwyneth Paltrow got involved with that, thinking that it was funny. And then it became the fucking thing. The candle wasn't created after the scent of her vagina. It was a candle that already existed in a warehouse somewhere, fucking 7 million of them. And they were like, shit, how do we make our money back? And so they got really clever marketing involved.
It's all it takes.
And it's all it
Could
takes.
sell anything with clever marketing.
Yeah. And apparently with Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina. Also, just a FYI out there, folks, women and vagina owners of the world, you don't have to steam your vagina. Don't steam your vagina. It's not healthy for your vagina. Don't listen to Goop, is all I'm saying.
You know what helps?
And vagina.
You know what helps vaginas?
What?
Underwear.
Yes!
Underwear.
Oh my God, I had forgotten about it. I genuinely had forgotten about
Underwear.
Oh, if you had pulled out this clip, if you just had Timothy Oliphant saying
Underwear.
on your phone on Wednesday and you started playing it, you could have made me happier as I sat there in my horrid grief, because that makes me so fucking happy. And the fact that he clipped out just that one word
Underwear.
to use over and over is proof that he sees me and he loves me.
And I saved it instead of getting sad trombone back.
I mean, look, we all can do a womp 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 womp, and
But
sometimes it's funny.
we still have the important ones like and.
And?
Oh, you'll find out later.
Ah, damn. I do miss and somehow Palpatine returned though. It used to piss me off every time you'd hit that button, but I think it's so funny now. Underwear. Anyways, yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow, she's great. What do you have a favorite film of hers?
I mean, I enjoy Sliding Doors.
Yeah, Sliding Doors is a great movie.
I think the first movie I may have seen her in was Shallow Hal, because I definitely saw.
I'm sorry.
I definitely saw that before I saw this movie
or
things like Talented Mr. Ripley or Great Expectations or
Shakespeare
some of
in
those
Love.
earlier stuff. Yeah,
I don't care about Shakespeare.
I
in
may
Love.
have seen Shakespeare in Love first because it was a Oscar
yeah, it was
movie.
such Oscar bait.
So I think because it was an Oscar movie, I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And then, of course, you gotta love her as Dixie Normus on Austin Powers Goldmember. Good old Dixie.
Dixie Normus. I need to rewatch the
Austin Power movies.
The Austin Power movies. It's been too long since I've seen them.
When it came out, I really enjoyed it. Came out in 2004. It was Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow. It's a terrible film.
It's a terrible film.
But man, when I was 23, I thought it was so much fun. Just the fantastical parts about it more than anything, and just this. It's like old school comics before superheroes were prevalent in comics. They had somebody like Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow, and so this was like a pre-comic comic, and that was what I really enjoyed about it. But man, you rewatch it.
I haven't rewatched it since I saw it in theater. And I think I'm in theater. I was like, it was
so
fun.
Bad. It has a 6.1 on IMDb, and I think that's a little high.
Yeah, that's pretty generous.
It should at least be in the 5s. It's got some interesting things about it because of the way they implemented green screen, because that kind of green screen hadn't been done except for mostly George Lucas did in the prequels trilogy.
Whoever was doing it, they did their best.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie was terrible. Jude Law was fine. Like, Jude Law was fun. Jude Law, you could tell, was into it.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
I think
everybody
Gwyneth
else
Paltrow
just
kind of knew what she was doing a little bit.
may have,
Yeah,
but
I don't know. It's been too long.
she was silly, and her and Jude Law definitely had good chemistry.
I was reminded just now of a movie that she did back in 1998 called A Perfect Murder with Michael Douglas and Viggo Mortensen, which I definitely watched after I had seen The Fellowship of the Ring the first time because I saw Aragorn and just
I need to see more movies with him in it.
I need this boner all the time, every day.
Which, have you seen Eastern Promises?
Yeah, not in years, but yes.
Yes.
Oh, the bathroom scene.
Well, that's what I figured. Watched it for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't understand the movie that much, but I was like, ooh, floppy dog.
I like this scene.
The thing about A Perfect Murder is that Gwyneth Paltrow is, in the movie, married to Michael Douglas and having an affair on him with Viggo Mortensen, which is all well and fine. But they're both men in their 40s, almost 50s, and she was like 26. And that is just what Hollywood did for so long, and they still do to an extent.
Absolutely.
But like a Chris Evans 46 is a lot different than a Michael Douglas 46. Like, you know, actors in their 40s look younger these days thanks to so much good work and rest. Rest was in air
Sun
quotes. You couldn't see that.
protection, more knowledge about smoking and drinking.
Stuff like that. Botox, you
Just
know,
facial
Brazilian
creams in
facelifts,
general.
you know.
Wash your face.
Those weird gold collagen eye patches I've been putting on my eyes to help with all the crying I've been doing lately. You can kind of put like a 26-year-old with Chris Evans and make it a little bit more believable these days than you could back when, like, they're like, oh yeah, sure thing, Gwyneth Paltrow, a young, supple, gorgeous infant at 24, 25, would definitely be married to Kirk Douglas and fucking, you know, Viggo Mortensen on the side. And yeah, there's just so many actresses who had to kind of suffer that constant need, right? Because like the perfect Hollywood wife is 24 and the perfect Hollywood husband is 42. And people wonder why I have a thing for older men. That is weird and unchecked. Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
I mean, who doesn't fucking love Ben Stiller? Is this our first Ben Stiller movie on this podcast, sir? Can you think of another Ben Stiller movie that we have?
We talked about a couple Ben Stiller movies, but I don't think we've done.
He has come
Ben
up,
Stiller
yes,
movies.
but no, we have never. I genuinely think we should do an episode on Tropic Thunder because that is one of the greatest movie-making movies ever.
And he directed that one.
Yes.
And I also didn't know he directed Zoolander, which I think
I did know that.
I think a couple of his best movies acting in were also a couple of his best directed acting. I think those are a couple of his best movies in general.
Good Lord. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies in development as a director. 8, according to IMDb. That's insane.
Yeah. I think one of the first times I probably watched a Ben Stiller movie was probably There's Something About Mary.
I first knew of him kind of... Yeah, Something About Mary... I feel like, oh my god, he was a voice on an episode of Two Stupid Dogs. I must find it. For that show is the truest show. I love it so much. I know I saw Reality Bites afterwards. Probably my first time of really seeing Ben Stiller and being like, I don't like him, because I didn't like him for a long time, was Happy Gilmore. He's the asshole nurse / like guy who watches over Happy's grandma. There was a while there where he always kind of plays some really like douchey characters, and I was like, wow, this guy sucks. And it took a while for me to kind of like come around on him, because he always had a bit of an anger problem in a lot of his shows. And so seeing him as like the love happy like sick pup, or you know, like love sick puppy that was his character in Something About Mary was interesting for me, because in my head I saw him for a very long time as the asshole from Happy Gilmore. Zoolander, I think, is what made me appreciate him as a comedian, right? Because like I had seen Happy Gilmore and I was like, oh, this guy is an asshole. And then I saw There's Something About Mary and I was like, I remember laughing so hard in the theater watching that movie. By the way, I saw that movie in the theater when it came out. I was...
Something About Mary?
Yes.
Wow.
I was 14.
Something About Mary was definitely not a movie that I saw in the theater.
Yeah, I was 14 and I saw that in the theater. Absolutely. Well, we liked sick comedies, and because it was from the guys who gave you Dumb and Dumber, and
Sure.
Dumb and Dumber was such a movie for my family. Like my whole family fucking loved that movie. Of course, my parents had no qualms taking me to a rated R comedy when I was a child.
Mine did.
Well, yeah, but I'm a Tenenbaum,
Yeah, that's true.
and you're the kid across the street, wishing.
Of course, his character in Happy Gilmore is always really funny. I liked him. I'm a Mystery Men fan.
I could not get into that
I know.
movie as much as you wanted me
I
to.
know.
Yeah,
I
feel bad about
you
it.
had to be there in
Yeah.
1999.
And maybe
Best
that was
year
it.
for films.
It was that movie is a movie of its time.
It sure is.
When it comes to goofy screwball comedies, you kind of, and especially ones that are like a little out there and a little like, you know, edgy and goofy, I think you kind of latch on to a certain one and run with it, and other people are either with it or they're not. So I know people that fucking love Mystery Men and quote it and think it's a great film, and I don't necessarily get it. I know people who don't understand my deep love for Wayne's World. or basketball. Nobody really follows me down the basketball is a great fucking movie train. And I quote it, I would say probably about 6 times a week, easily.
Miss it. Steve Perry. Yes, 3 outs. I'm up. And I should have been gone.
Check this shit out.
Steve Perry.
Huh?
Oh. Tough break, Squeak. Yeah, now you gotta fetch the ball, bitch.
Your Pac-Man video games and your Zima and your Dan Fogelberg. Like, I quote basketball a lot, and I love it. So I just think that there's a certain like time and a place when it comes to those really insane comedies that you latch onto one, and sometimes other ones are just sort of hard to get into. I will never understand the love for Napoleon Dynamite. I do not get it.
It had to have been
But
cool.
I guess it was just a time and a place, and I was somewhere else at a different place at that time.
You were a Tenenbaum and didn't care about
I was a Tenenbaum and I
fun
didn't care.
indie comedies.
It's not a comedy.
It is.
No, there's not a single funny moment in that whole fucking
there's
movie.
so many funny moments.
Nope. Oh,
Let's
Tina,
watch it.
you're fat, Tina. It's a fucking llama. Who the hell cares? That dance, unbearable.
See, I'm laughing just thinking about it. So another movie that Ben Stiller was in that I really liked that came out before Zoolander. So might even. But anyway, it was Keeping the Faith. I don't know if you ever saw that
Oh
one.
God, not in years, with Edward Norton and
Back when people liked Jenna Elfman.
that was it. It was like what's her face from Dharma and Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edward Norton played a father, a priest.
Yeah, a priest, and then-
Ben Stiller played a rabbi. It's another fun. It's kind of like Along Came Polly, like just one of those little screwball kind of.
Love Along Came
Comedies.
Polly. That movie is really sweet and very clever. It's Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston, and they've got really good chemistry. But what makes that movie is Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's like Ben Stiller's goofy best friend, and Philip Seymour Hoffman was actually an actor, a once in his lifetime, a once in his generation sort of actor, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he's gone now, and it sucks. The movies he could have been in, the roles that man could have done that other people did and weren't nearly as good.
Especially nowadays.
Nowadays,
he'd be
he would,
like his age, like
the age he would be
well,
at.
and all the other movies he would have done between the time now and the time that he died would have. I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
But that's the thing about actors
Yeah.
who die, especially young. You think about all the things that
all the roles that
we
somebody
missed
else
out
took.
on, seeing the art that they
All the
could
roles
create.
that Paul Giamatti got because Philip Seymour Hoffman was gone.
Jeez.
And that sounds mean, and I don't mean it because I fucking love Paul Giamatti. But I'm just saying I could have seen Philip Seymour Hoffman in The Holdovers, you know? Anyways, Along Came Polly was the first time I had ever heard the word shart. Oh. Yeah, that was that movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman is the introduction for me to the word
sharting.
shart.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have silly things like Meet the Parents
Mm-hmm.
that have now turned into all the dumb Fokker movies.
Yeah.
But I think the first Meet the Parents movie
Dodgeball.
was solid. Dodgeball's
Fucking
great.
love Dodgeball. Fucking love Dodgeball.
Night at the Museums.
Those movies are really charming.
Really charming, especially with Robin Williams.
Yeah. We spent a day, I mean, this was back in COVID time, so it's been a hot minute, but we did spend a day where we watched all 3 of those movies back to back to back.
Yeah.
And it was worth it. Yeah, Ben Stiller's great. I mean, I love it when he does kind of more, like, weirdly serious stuff.
I hear if you're a fan and you approach him, he's a dick.
Yeah,
so
I've
that
also heard
sucks.
that he is not a very nice person.
That's always when you.
Well, when you learn from Gene Hackman. Because, like, also, I mean, this movie was made 25 years ago, and so we have had 25 years to fuck up and make ourselves better and make ourselves worse and all the same. But, like, Luke Wilson hasn't aged well either. And I don't mean physically. I don't know the exact age of his current wife, but she's very young.
Well, makes you feel young too.
I just was watching this TikTok before I took a nap and we started this podcast where a guy was talking about how his 71-year-old father had a 30-year-old girlfriend that the father was trying to get into the will as the guy was having a heart attack. It was a whole thing, right? The comedian's sister was super angry about it. And the comedian, this was a joke, I'm sure, but who knows if he actually said it. It was like, if you suck a 71-year-old's dick, you deserve a little bit of money out of that. Like, if you're committed to the bit to be with a much older man that's that much richer than you, if you're fucking committed, then you deserve the money you get out of it, is all I'm saying. I don't know. This sounds like I'm bagging on him. I actually did really enjoy the guy. I still kind of really enjoy the guy. He was always my preferred Wilson brother for a really long time, especially as a teenager. And that has absolutely everything to do with his episode of The X-Files.
Of course.
Which, off the top of my head, I want to say was called Bad Blood. And it was an episode that was written and directed, but at least written by Vince Gilligan. And this is all off the top of my head, and now I'm going to go do my research to see if I was right. Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Luke Wilson. Oh, God, we're going to fuck that up left, right,
we
and
are.
center. Bad Blood. I knew that. I knew the title. Writers, Vince Gilligan, and 3 others. Who's good? Who knows her X-Files lore still for some useless, pointless reason? It's me.
It is you.
Underwear.
Underwear. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Underwear.
It's a really great episode, though, and I would love to watch it with you. Yeah, and because of that episode of The X-Files, which I just thought was incredible, I then discovered Home Fries, which is, again, a Vince Gilligan thing. And I have talked about this movie, Blue in the Face. I've made you watch it, and you loved it just as much as I knew you would. It stars Luke Wilson and Drew Barrymore. Catherine O'Hara's in it. Jake Busey's in it. Shelley Duvall is in it. It's a great, dark, twisted comedy. And it's very wholesome and sweet, and it's very weird. Jake Busey gives his Buseyest in this role.
Yeah.
And Catherine O'Hara, I mean, rest in peace to the absolute queen. But she reigns over that movie like the goddess that she is. That was my first real introduction to Luke.
I think my first 2 introductions, because like I said, I didn't watch Bottle Rocket. And so I really didn't know Luke Wilson very much. And I also didn't watch The X-Files.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him, I didn't know it was him. I didn't know who he was because it was such a throwaway character. But from Scream 2, he plays... Because Scream, the franchise Scream, is such a meta...
Yes.
It's a meta universe. They're making fun of them. They're always making fun of...
Horror movies.
Yeah,
while being a horror movie.
But it's something that I think a lot of people forget about. And so they... When they're critiquing the movie, they're why does it do it? That's the whole point.
That was the point of it. Yeah.
Of Scream 1 was being meta and making fun of horror movies. So in Scream 2, they introduce
the stab movies. Yeah.
And now I think the stab movies and the Scream movies are at the same amount of movies that they've made, which is 7.
Yeah.
The actor who played the Billy character, who was originally played by Skeet Ulrich, and he played the character of Billy
in the movies.
In the movie Stab.
Which makes me wonder if then he would come back to the Stab franchise later on the way that Skeet Ulrich eventually came back
that
to
would
the
be
Scream
funny
movies.
If they just keep... they do... the Stab movies try to emulate the things that have happened in real life in Scream. And then another movie that I saw Luke Wilson in, this one came out in 99, so still pretty early, but Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence. It was like put Martin Lawrence and Luke Wilson together in a
buddy comedy, and you get something that's 6.4 stars on IMDb. And
it wasn't even buddy cop because one of them, because of course Martin Lawrence plays a former convict.
Martin Lawrence-esque character.
Yeah, very Martin Lawrence.
You did skip over who else is in Scream 2. Who?
Underwear. Underwear.
He's the killer. Spoilers.
Underwear.
I wonder if he wore
Underwear.
clean underwear. Everybody talks about Idiocracy these days.
Well,
because
very relevant.
It is very relevant. But also, I hated that movie.
Have you rewatched it?
Not recently, and I don't want to because it's just going to make me sad. And then after watching the honest trailers for it, I was like, oh yeah, no, I can't handle this whole fucking film. But I understand it, I get it, but I also can't stand that film. I didn't like it when it came out. I remember, and it might have been a case of people being like, oh my God, because even when it came out, I feel like people were like, oh my God, this is exactly where our country's going. Can you believe it? Like, oh, this is exactly what's happening in America these days. I feel like they've been saying that since that movie came out.
Okay.
And so
well, that's why it came out, was because our country was headed in that
shit
kind
direction that's gone in.
He was making fun of people, and now it's just gotten even more. Now it's just even more.
And I hate that. I hate how relevant that movie has become. But when I finally watched it, I don't know if it was too many people telling me that it was a great movie or what, but I sat down and I watched it and I went, I don't get it.
You watched it with your arms folded.
I watched it with my arms folded,
like,
big
fine,
frown.
I'll watch
I'm not going to enjoy this.
It's never a great way to start a movie.
Well, no, I gave it a shot. That's not true entirely. But, I don't ever want to rewatch it either. I do not care about Idiocracy.
All right, what about Owen Wilson?
What about Owen Wilson? Not Luke Wilson. Owen Wilson.
Now we've moved over to Owen Wilson.
The Wilson that has taken his time and has firmly planted himself into my heart. I love Owen Wilson. I did not think much about his casting in Loki. And because I was like, oh, Owen Wilson's going to be in Loki? Like, really? Okay. And then I watched that series and it changed how I felt about Owen Wilson. I love Mobius. I think that he is an incredible character. I loved his chemistry with Tom Hiddleston. And Hiddles is definitely one of those guys that, like, could have chemistry with a tree, Like, 1,000%. I could believe that man could be in love with anything and anyone. But his chemistry, especially with Owen Wilson, was perfectly beautiful, and I totally get why people ship that. And I just wanted to see the man on a jet ski, and we kind of got to, which is wonderful. There has been a lot of Owen Wilson movies that I have not liked, per se, or that I've just been sort of like, meh, over.
There's a lot of those.
I love Cars.
Oh,
I love Cars. The first Cars, I should say.
Yes.
The second one's an abomination, and I didn't even bother with the third.
Same.
But the first movie is delightful. He is so much goddamn fun in Night at the Museum with Steve Coogan, where, he's the little miniature cowboy and Steve Coogan's the little miniature Roman soldier. And their chemistry, again, off the charts. I get why people ship it. And there's a lot of shippers out there, by the way, for Jebediah and whatever Steve Coogan's character's name was.
I think the first movie I saw him in was Armageddon.
I would probably say the same, except I don't remember him in Armageddon.
You don't remember him in Armageddon?
I don't remember Armageddon.
Oh.
It's been
It's such
years.
a fun... It's one of the few really fun...
I don't think I've seen Armageddon since
Michael
I've met
Bay
you.
Films. Really?
I don't think you and I have ever sat down and watched it. I don't think I've seen that movie since I was a teenager. Which, yeah, I genuinely don't think I have.
I want to watch Steve Taylor sing a love song to his own daughter.
Funny thing about that song is that I danced to a kid in my middle school that I had a crush on to that song.
Because I know kind of how, with my upbringing and not being able to watch a lot of rated R films, I definitely saw Armageddon first.
Yeah.
And then later watched Anaconda, which he's also in. And
definitely haven't seen Anaconda.
Anaconda is so bad, but it's also so much fun.
Yeah. How was the newer one?
The newer one has some fun moments.
Yeah.
And there are certain characters that really make the movie shine.
Yeah.
It's mainly Steve Zahn, even though they don't give him enough to do.
Yeah.
'Cause he's there the whole time and he's part of the friendship, but
always there the whole time, and they
just
never give him enough to do in any Steve Zahn movie.
He's just kind of like there and doesn't have any dialogue, but when he does have dialogue, you're like, oh, Steve Zahn's great. He does this role so well. And then the main story is dumb and the movie's dumb. It's not as bad as the original Anaconda. Mm-hmm. It's a better movie, which is kind of how I'm feeling about remakes. Like don't remake good movies or movies that did well already. Remake the duds. Like rewrite them, remake them. 20 years later, 50 years later, however many.
Yeah, give the duds another shot.
What are we at? Like 97. So that's. Anaconda's almost 30. Yeah, so pick a dud from 20 to 25 years ago and
give it a shot.
It's got a
movie that you and your friends love.
It's got to at least be better a little bit.
And get paid millions to go out and make it.
The Haunting was fun.
You do like that film a whole lot.
I Spy with, I think that was with Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. That was really funny.
I mean, personally, for
but
me...
But also bad. Like, it's not a great movie.
When it comes
still funny.
Jackie Chan with an American action star, or Jackie Chan with an American star action movie, I should say, Shanghai Noon will always be 1,000 times better than Rush Hour.
Absolutely.
Like 1,000 times better. And I would love to watch it again. It's been way too long since I've like sat down and watched that goofy film. I only ever watched Starsky and Hutch once, and it was on an airplane back from Switzerland, bringing it back to the Swiss. Obviously he was in Wedding Crashers, and people fucking love Wedding Crashers. I loved Wedding Crashers when it came out.
Yeah,
it's not aged well.
No, it's got a nice like solid 7 on IMDb, which is pretty good for IMDb.
Just out of curiosity, but I think I'm going to cringe at a lot of parts.
I recently did rewatch it,
and
you will cringe at parts for sure.
I never saw Marley and Me. Never.
Oh, man.
And you know why? Because I saw the trailer and I went, that dog's going to die and that movie's going to make me cry. I'm not watching it. And guess what fucking happens?
And then they think that replacing the dog with another puppy is going to make everything better. It doesn't.
The wrong dog died.
I like his character and when we were watching this movie, I mentioned to you that his character from Meet the Parents is kind of similar, just because it's somebody that had been previously in love with the female of the same age.
Yeah.
I felt like that was pretty similar to his character in Meet the Parents, where his character used to date Ben Stiller's fiance, but also has made a shit ton of money just being alone, and seems to be like really cool with his life. But is he?
Are we gonna see Focker-in-Law, honey? Are
Not
you
in
and I
theaters.
okay? I was like, are you and I gonna go to the movies and watch Focker-in-Law?
I didn't even watch the last one that came out.
I don't think I've seen any of them in the theater, actually. I think every single one of those was like a rental.
Yeah, I may have seen the first one in the theater, but they're all kind of like what do you always call it?
Schmaltzy?
No. When movies just kind of like progressively get worse.
Diminishing returns.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I feel about that. And this one might be better, but I'm not willing to spend my time in a theater for it.
No, you're right. I'm not either. Like, sorry, De Niro and Ariana Grande. It's just...
For the benefit of the people working on the film, I hope it does well.
Oh, it's going to be a big movie, I think. I think that movie's going to do... I don't think it's going to be gangbusters, per se, but I think it'll do fine.
Midnight in Paris, I think, is another almost a movie to just bring up.
Woody Allen.
Well, of course, all the great ones are.
Yeah,
done by
Tom
people
Hiddleston
who
is great
suck.
in that movie, though. And I, before the Woody Allen of it all, I did watch that movie and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah,
me too.
Well, there's a
So
handful of Woody Allen films.
Actually, I think I
enjoy.
saw it over your shoulder kind of watching. I don't think I actually watched the entire thing.
So many of these movies I feel like I watched in my childhood living room, but the more we get into it, I'm like, no, that movie didn't come out when I was still living at home. So where the fuck did I watch it for the first time?
Just whenever you ran into it. Bill Murray, of course. Everybody knows who Bill Murray is. I don't think we need to talk about Bill Murray.
No,
we can talk about
Bill
our
Murray.
favorite Bill Murray film if you want.
I mean...
Besides Ghostbusters, is there
Ghostbusters.
another answer?
Yeah.
There
is, because there's What About Bob, and there's Scrooged, and there's,
one of my favorite movies ever, not just Bill Murray, but just favorite comedies ever was Groundhog Day.
Mm-hmm. SNL and all the wonderful things he did on there.
I like the stuff that he does with Wes Anderson in general.
Yeah.
I think his characters are always at least interesting. Maybe not always great, but like I said, I absolutely love Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Bill Murray's wonderful, but ultimately, when it comes down to it, it's Ghostbusters. It's fucking Ghost. It's Pete Venkman, who is the reason. It's I would say 40% why one of my older brothers is the way that he is because he saw Pete Venkman at a formidable age and just latched onto that personality and never looked back.
We have talked about Bill Murray before.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Well, we did Scrooge during our Christmas bonus special.
You know what I would like to say is one of my most favorite, not necessarily Bill Murray roles, but also one of my favorite Bill Murray cameo, let's put it that way, is as the often talked about but never seen mayor of Pawnee, Indiana, Walter Gunderson in Parks
that
and
voiced
Rec.
by Bill Murray?
No.
Oh.
At the second to the last episode is the mayor's funeral, and Bill Murray is laying in the casket as the mayor. That's the only time he was ever in. You ever saw Walter Gunderson was him in his casket.
Huh.
And it was Bill Murray.
I feel like we watched that whole series together. I don't remember that part.
Oh, I know it popped up. I'm sure when we saw him, we're like, Bill Murray. But I think that's hilarious. And that's the kind of shit that like an older Bill Murray has been up to, right? He's just, everybody knows about the voicemail. He pops up when and where he wants to.
Which is
And
fine, whatever. Like, people, we'll still go out and watch him when he's on. And
somebody said recently that, and I do mean very recently because it was just in the last few days, Bill Murray would pop up into like people's lives, strangers, just random people out there. And there are people that have stories about him like walking past and eating their fries and looking at them and going, no one will ever believe you. Or showing up at parties randomly, right? Like Bill Murray is just out there side questing from side quest to side quest. And nobody, like, he's like this mythical creature, right? Glenn Hansard kind of did the same thing, but it wasn't a no one's going to believe you. It was you're not going to believe that it truly happened moment based on the stories that I've heard about his life outside of what I knew him to be. And I just thought that was really sweet. And here we are once again talking about Bill Murray. Bill Murray's fantastic. Bill
Murray.
Fucking love him. Not Brian Murray.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, not Brian Murray.
Danny Glover. Good old
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover. For a long time, people thought Danny Glover and Donald Glover were related.
Couldn't you see, though, like Danny Glover having a son and naming him Donald?
And, I mean, the age...
Dong Lover?
Age different. Yeah, Dong Lover for the longest time.
The longest time.
His Twitter handle was Don Glover, but...
Dong Lover?
Yeah, Don Lover for the longest time. And then he finally got rid of that, and I think he just goes by Childish Gambino.
Yeah. Do you think that Danny Glover deserves for all four of his known for movies on IMDb to be Lethal Weapon movies?
No, because one of them needs to be at least Predator 2.
Predator 2 is great. I don't know much about Danny Glover outside of his films.
I mean...
And
It is one of the biggest franchises that he's known. Like, it's the thing that he's really known for.
Nobody talks about Predator 2. Oh.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody does talk about Predator 2, which is a shame. But you're right. Nobody
talks. The Lethal Weapons, again, they were dad movies, right? They were action dad movies that my dad liked because they were action movies that were for dads. And I was just a little girl in the crossfire going,
not just dad. Like,
they were dad movies.
I grew up on them, and I wasn't allowed to watch them, but I still was able to watch them because of my friends.
Yeah, and you're a dad.
Not then.
Yeah, you were going to be.
If you watch this movie,
if you like those movies, you're a dad.
You will get somebody pregnant.
Dad. There were so many like dumb action franchises in the 80s and 90s that dads lapped up the same way that there were so many fucking like mom movies in that same era that were always dramatic and made you cry. And I really don't go for a whole lot of them. I go for, I guess, my generation's version of that, which is like The Avengers and Bridgerton. You know, that's like modern day dad mom entertainment. I don't know. When it comes to Danny Glover, I'm always happy to see him and stuff. I thought he was a lot of fun in the Jumanji sequel, Jumanji: The Next Level. Him and Danny DeVito have some really wholesome scenes together, like really wholesome scenes together in that movie. And they made me roll a tear at least once. So do with that information what you will, folks. I am excited for the next Jumanji movie because even though The Rock keeps failing upwards, like, if he finds the right project, I always feel like he's going to keep winning and keep failing upwards. That's what helps him keep stepping upwards. And I think the Jumanji movies are the right projects.
Like, the one win
yeah.
forgives so many losses.
Yeah. Because the one win is going to be huge.
And then he wins again and then loses a lot.
Yeah.
And then wins again. But it's crazy that because there's other actors that can do that, but they don't get paid 20 to 30 million for a project.
They don't have his charisma or his talent agency.
Right?
Danny Glover has been in so much. I am
one of my favorite Danny
and
Glover,
scrolling, and I'm still in 2006.
besides Lethal Weapon and Predator 2. Silverado, which I've talked about on this podcast a couple times.
You do love Silverado.
One of my favorite Westerns. Kevin Kline, Scott Glenn, Kevin Costner, John Cleese. I think even, what's his face? There's so many people.
You know why you have brought this up a couple times on this podcast? Because we definitely talked about it when we were blowing Danny Glover for The Prince of Egypt.
Blowing him, huh?
So we have talked about him very recently. And yeah, he's great. We love him. I really like his character in this movie, too. He is such a, bumbling nerd. It's really funny to see that sort of, real level, charming, bumbling kind of, doofus in the midst of all of these insanely strong, wild characters who have all of these, traumas and problems. And here's just Danny Glover coming along with, a silly shoe or a shoe problem or a tie problem and just falling into a pit, and he's cute. I like it.
Yeah. Lastly, unless you have some other people you want to talk about, I was just going to quickly say our narrator was Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, which I had forgotten about. And as soon as he spoke, I was
as soon as he starts, you're just oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
We talked about him recently when we did The Departed.
Fucking Jack Donaghy. Apparently, he based Jack Donaghy's voice and mannerisms on watching Gene Hackman in this movie. And not it wasn't like he was on set or anything, but Royal Tenenbaum had a little bit to do to help Jack Donaghy become Jack Donaghy. I think that this movie is the beginning of a lot of twee hipster stereotypes that I have learned to be annoyed at. Does that make sense? Mm. Most appropriately is playing Elliott Smith over a suicide attempt. We get it, guys. We fucking get it with the whole Elliott Smith of it all. And when that scene came on, I was like, oh, fucking course, it's an Elliott Smith song. But I knew that in my soul because I've owned this soundtrack and listened to a lot of songs off of it over the years. But I don't know. There's some reason when I saw that scene, I was just sort of like, oh, God, this has been done time and time and time again. Oh, it's probably because of this. And that made me laugh. Yeah, the Royal Tenenbaums. I adore this movie. Watching it the other day and kind of seeing a weird family, my own personal family subtext to it was a very interesting reaction. Especially a lot of my notes have to do with, of course, the oldest brother is closest to the dad / the one that's gaslit him by the easiest. I've never seen that before. And of course, the middle brother just is desperate for attention and desire and love and, doesn't get all of that from his emotionally stunted father. A lot of it played out in ways that I'm all too familiar with. But I was reminded, because it's been years since I've seen this film, just how whimsically sweet this story is too. And everybody always laughs at the end, Royal's epitaph being he saved his family from the wreckage of a sinking, burning ship or whatever.
Sure.
But he kind of does. That's exactly what Royal does. Because at the beginning of this film, this family is fractured. Nobody speaks to the dad. The children barely speak to each other. They barely speak to their mother. Everybody's unhappy. Everybody's depressed. And by the end of it, there is some hope and some acceptance and some, even, dare I say, joy in the outlook of the future for all of them. Every character, I think, is left better off by Royal Tenenbaum getting kicked out of his hotel and needing a place to stay, which ultimately is the catalyst for this story. It's a funny gravestone, but that's what he does. Metaphorically, of course. But he saved his family from the burning wreckage of a sinking ship because that's where the Tenenbaums were headed. Yeah, I noticed that for the first time upon this rewatch and went, oh, that's exactly what he did. He just, had to embellish it because that's the type of man that Royal was.
Of course, when Wes Anderson was writing this film, he actually wrote the part for Gene Hackman to play, but didn't know if he could get him. And then Gene Hackman was upset that he tried to write a part for him
How dare you write a part for me?
Nobody writes parts for me.
Ugh.
So while Hackman was thinking it over with his agent,
Yeah.
supposedly Michael Caine was like there in the wings, like
Oh, that would have been
as a
great.
backup.
I mean, it would have been such a different movie, of course, because how do you replace Gene Hackman as Royal Tenenbaum?
Yeah.
But I think that Michael Caine could have done a phenomenal job
Another
on Michael Caine.
another actor that it was rumored to be in talks to being Royal Tenenbaum was Gene Wilder.
Oh, wow, that would have been something
I mean,
special.
Gene Wilder in a Wes Anderson film.
We could have had what we could have had. But we got Gene Hackman in a Wes Anderson film, and that was a one and done.
And
so
he did a great
what
job.
we got.
Wes Anderson, in a way, kind of just kept asking him to play the part. When Gene Hackman saw the other actors who didn't complain about getting the part or the salary, were just there and ready to go, Hackman was just like, "Fine, I'll do it."
Yeah, and then hated it.
Then hated it, but hated the making of the film.
Yeah.
But then
Didn't
said that
hate the film. He liked the
he
film.
liked the film. He just didn't understand it while they were filming.
Yeah. I don't think he got, the twee sort of hipster of Wes Anderson in the early 2000s, right? I can understand why that would piss an old man like Gene Hackman off.
Sure.
What's going on here? That line at the very end where he says, I've always been considered somewhat of an asshole.
It's a great line.
It's a great line.
He does, for somebody who just didn't know what was happening or understand the role, he nails
it
so well.
Yeah.
And that's just what a professional and amazing actor Gene Hackman was. Even if he is hard to work with.
Poor Margot.
Poor Margot.
Yeah.
First of all, not being a, like a actual Tenenbaum.
Have you met my adopted daughter? God. He's not your real father. Neither are you.
That was great. I love that line.
I can't think of many other characters who could have pulled off Gwyneth Paltrow's role in that. I think she's perfect as Margot Tenenbaum.
Especially at that age.
That
she was at. And,
that level of acting skill.
And not being like a super... That's what's great about Wes Anderson movies is you don't have to be a spectacular actor to do this dialogue.
Yeah, to really kind of convey the character.
You're definitely going to be a little more remembered if you do a great job, like Ray Fiennes in Grand Budapest.
Yeah.
And Hackman in this.
Give the man an Oscar. Fuck.
I know. The man
needs his Oscar.
Stop thinking that he's won it or doesn't. And even if he did win it...
Why would we give it to Adrian
People
Brody?
win more than one Oscar.
Yeah.
Why can't we give more Oscars? Never mind. This is a whole rabbit hole in this podcast.
We've ranted about this before. Feel free to listen to every other episode and try to find it.
Any episode that may have been big Oscar buzz.
And or where we talked about Ray Fiennes.
Or when, yeah.
I don't dislike the whole she's adopted, he's her adopted brother, they fall in love sort of thing. It's interesting and it's a choice. Choices. I don't rub up against it too much. Actually, my German teacher, my first German teacher in high school, married her stepbrother, but they were step siblings as like tweens, and then their parents got to divorce and they didn't see each other for like 15 years, and then when they met, they reconnected and fell in love. So it's not unheard of that like step siblings or adopted siblings fall in love. It's just when it's done in like a Dexter way that it's fucking disgusting, because those two were absolutely siblings. Definitely Margot and Richie weren't. I feel like there was always this huge barrier between the kids, between the children Tenenbaum. I think because their dad was such a striking presence that they didn't really get to form much of a relationship with each other. I think because their mom worked so hard on their genius and they each took different paths of quote unquote genius, that there was always this like wall up around them. So I guess I don't mind the fact that Margot and Richie fall in love, but it is a choice. It's always a choice to include incest. And I think that Game of Thrones has gotten us not only used to it, but also somewhat supportive. But still, you, David. I'm sure people look at us and how we raise our kids and are like, they're shitty fucking parents. I think ultimately, as long as your children are loved and respected and fed and clothed and taken care of, It's not that hard to be a halfway decent parent if you just love your fucking kid, right? But there are some people, narcissists like Royal Tenenbaum, who are functionally incapable of loving anybody other than themselves, and thus makes them a terrible parent. So I can sit here and judge Royal and Etheline, because I don't think she was necessarily a good mother either, but I think she was doing her best and trying to support her family and keep them going. I think that she, I think any parent that pushes their child into becoming the best at something, that's a choice. It's a choice, and I'm not going to make it. So she really pushed her kids out into a limelight, into a world with the whole like kid geniuses thing.
Well, yeah, all three of them were labeled as geniuses.
And she was the driving force behind that. And so I feel like that too is a different type of questionable parenting, in my personal opinion.
I don't know.
But she did her best, whereas Royal was just out for Royal.
It'd be interesting to find out one day, like, your kid is like an actual genius.
Yeah.
Now you got to do these things to actually like get their brain going. But
look at the Williams sisters and their father, right? Like their father saw some genius in them, but also forced them into a little bit becoming what they were. I don't know. I didn't actually see that movie. I don't know much about their life story, but there's.
I mean, what about Selena that we covered with Abraham, the
he
father?
Saw talent in her, and he pushed her and pushed her and pushed her. Oftentimes kind of against what she wanted, or he fought against things that she knew would be well received. And I don't understand pushing a child to achieve things that you yourself never did. Like, I want our children to go off and be more successful than I am and richer than I am and as happy, if not happier than I am. I genuinely love my weird little life with you and with these goofballs. Like there's a deep, contented happiness in my soul with my family as we are. There's plenty of things that could change, but that I could be better at, but whatever, it's fine. I'm not...
Such is life.
Yeah, c'est la vie. I don't understand the type of... I'm going to use the word psychosis, and that might not be the right word, but I'm going to use it, of pushing your child to be a cheerleader because you never got to be, or being a baseball star because you blew out your knee freshman year and failed.
Yeah, the pushing your kid to do what you couldn't.
Yeah, to achieve, making your children achieve the glory you failed at.
So that you could live vicariously through them.
I never understood that. And that's not necessarily... No, I didn't. I had a Royal Tenenbaum sort of father. I didn't have a Williams sisters type of father, or a Selena type of father. And I'm glad for that, because having a Royal Tenenbaum-esque father is exhausting. I mean, I doubt he's going to listen to this, and even if he does, like, what the fuck do I care? I'd say that to his face, too. It's exhausting. It's emotionally stunting. It's challenging. And as an adult, you look back on a lot of parts of your childhood and go, what the fuck? But unlike Royal Tenenbaum, my dad loved us, and he tried his hardest. He gave it the old college try, and I can't deny that. And he did what he could to take care of us. How he handled that and how that scarred him emotionally is a whole nother story for a different podcast and my therapist. If I ever start a podcast with my therapist, you can hear all those fun stories. There was also a lot of fun as a kid and having the type of dad that would take you out on a misadventure that you probably shouldn't be going on. It was never dog races or, dog fighting and jumping on the back of a New York trash truck to get around. But I genuinely believe that had we lived in New York, it would have been. So at least there's that. But no, I had a lot of fun misadventures with my own Royal Tenenbaum. We had a lot of goofy moments and a lot of laughter and a lot of joy surrounding, mixed into this bizarre childhood that I have. And while I kind of grew up and grew out from that mentality and grew away from the worst parts of my childhood and my own Tenenbaum experience, not everybody gets to. And I don't know. Like I said, it was very interesting. I expected to sit down and talk about this movie like, oh, the colors and the costumes and the music and, fucking Pagoda, who I loved, or his friend pretending to be the doctor, who was a character that I always knew about, but it never clicked in my head that the same guy was the same
Especially
guy.
at the very end where he's still
Yeah,
playing
he's still
the
pretending
doctor,
to be a doctor.
even though he's just a busman or a hotel clerk or...
elevator operator.
Sure.
This is also the second movie with elevator operators. We really picked them, interestingly, this time
Wes
around.
Anderson likes elevator operators.
I was just thinking of The Apartment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
you
in
know,
Grand
you're right. In
Budapest,
Grand Budapest,
there's
fucking,
elevator operators.
Tony Ravioli is...
Tony Ravioli. And then
yeah.
I think, doesn't Ray Fiennes also pull kind of a Royal Tenenbaum by becoming a elevator operator?
Yes. Or pretending to be one. I can't
remember.
It's been a minute.
You can rewatch it again, I guess.
But yeah, I expected to talk about a lot of other things when it came to this film. I didn't expect for it to become Maggie's therapy hour, but, you know, it always is. It always comes back to me. I'm everything.
Yes.
Love me.
It's all about you.
Because I had a Tenenbaum for a father.
Somebody that we didn't talk about, Stephen Lee Shepherd, who plays Dudley.
Dudley. Yeah. He's a weird little kid. But,
yes, he is.
And I forgot about that storyline completely. And also, by the way, here I was going on and on about Gwyneth Paltrow having to play the younger wife to an older man. She's literally Bill Murray's wife in this fucking movie.
Yes.
So again, younger wife, older man dynamic that Hollywood loves so much.
Don't you? Oh,
Occasionally, I do. As I look at my own husband who's 4 years older than me. But that's
4 years is
arguably much more respectful.
I used to work for somebody who was married to somebody 11 years younger than him. But even then, that's still like...
When I was younger, I said that I would go
or they didn't meet until like she was in her 20s when they met. Like
when I was younger, and by younger I mean like, you know, high school and up, I was always like, I would totally date a man up to 25 years older than me. And now that I'm in my 40s, I'm like, ew, bad. But if I could have gone back in time and slapped myself a couple of times, I would slap the shit out of past Maggie.
Wes Anderson was friends with Judd Apatow, and at the time they were still making Freaks and Geeks back in the day.
Something else I will never understand and never get on board with.
Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah.
Why?
I just don't care.
Did you even try?
Yeah. I don't think I ever went back and like watched it after when it was finally on streaming, but I caught a couple of the episodes when they aired, and I went, eh. It goes back to I don't care about 80s nostalgia, and the basis of that story was an 80s nostalgia base. And that's not... I'm a 90s nostalgia sort of girl, so
I'm an 80s and 90s nostalgia. Like
I know you are.
Like from
you know...
both decades were fantastic for media.
Yeah, and I'm tired of the 80s nostalgia of it all. I think that the 90s deserves a little bit more, for fuck's sake.
They'll get their chance.
They'll get their chance. I'm just sort of over the 80s of it all, I guess. But even back when that show aired, I was just like, I don't care.
It's a lot of fun watching like a young Seth Rogen and Jason Segel.
Yeah.
And
everybody's on it. I get it. Linda Cardellini and fucking James Franco and all of them. Like, I get it.
Martin Starr.
Don't care. I do love Martin Starr and Spider-Man, though.
Man.
When he...
Yeah.
No spoilers for Spider-Man 4, folks, but when they reference Martin Starr's character, I let out a good hearty laugh. Most of the audience did, actually. It was a very
great
fun moment.
It was like probably the biggest laugh the whole movie got was that moment, I think.
Maybe? Yeah. I don't know. Our theater was into it, but they weren't as into it as I usually am. Me and the guy next to me watching Spider-Man... there was a couple times where I heard him like audibly gasp or say something, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, I'm right there with you." Like, I really wanted to turn and look at him and be like, "You've been a fun seat partner," but I didn't because that's weird.
It's a weird thing to say. To
it is
somebody,
weird, but it
stranger.
is something that I would say to a stranger.
It is something that you would say to somebody.
If it was a woman, I would have 1,000% said it to her. But it was a dude, and I was just like, "Meh, he doesn't need to know. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He's enjoying himself.
He's enjoying himself. I'm glad that he enjoyed himself.
You don't have to make it all about you."
But what if it is?
What if it is
all about
me?
me? And say they didn't mean to hurt me, but what if they did? I don't think that we can really talk about this movie without talking about the incredible costume design how everybody is sort of stuck in this arrested development of their teenage years in their costumes.
Yes. Like Luke Wilson still having the headband.
Yeah, Margot with the hairstyle, Ben Stiller with the tracksuit, and Ben Stiller.
It's
that
funny
poor
whenever
fucker.
his character,
Oh,
with his
God.
wife dying in a and the fact that they were all in the same plane.
Yeah.
And
she
including
was
the dog, and she was the only one that died.
Named for Jeff Buckley.
I'd be, if I had kids that were that young and
I died in a plane crash.
And we all survived except for
Me?
you.
Yeah.
I can't say I'd be any better than what his character was going through.
No, his character's storyline. I think when I was younger, I think I was always like, Chaz is a dick. Like, I don't get it. And then now that I'm older, now that I'm a parent, now that I kind of understand media literacy a little bit better, I definitely feel for him a lot more because he is the middle child. I actually don't know if he's the middle child or if Margot is, but since he kind of always, my brothers definitely remind me of Rishi and Chaz in that order. So seeing Chaz nowadays, I was like, I understand why he's so angry at his dad, why he's so angry at life, why he's so sad, why he's so afraid. Like, I get all of it. I think that was ultimately Royal's most, I guess his biggest success, I should say, is the fact that Chaz turns around on his existence.
It was one of the best things that Royal did, for sure. Like, he tries to make amends with everybody, but man, what he
fixes Chaz.
Yeah, because Chaz could have gone down, was going down a really dark hole.
Yeah.
And there was a point where it would take much more to get him out.
Yeah.
And so, that was at least one great thing that you see his dad do for his son.
Which I think is why it's so poetically beautiful that at the end of the movie, when Royal Tenenbaum dies, it's Chaz is the only one that was there with him. Right.
Oh, yeah, that he witnessed his father actually dying.
Yeah, he was there for his dad in his final moments. That's, I think, a very beautiful ending to those two characters.
When they were looking at each other, like making eye contact when the final moments were happening, that was a choked up kind of moment because I could only imagine sitting at my father's deathbed
or in the ambulance on the way to the hospital or
wherever the death place is.
Yeah, and looking down.
Just being there present with your father, mother, sibling, like that's such a...
I can imagine...
It's one thing to hear that your loved one
has gone. Yeah.
But to actually be there, witness
holding their hand. I mean, I've often thought about, being there at my own father's deathbed, but I'm usually the one holding the pillow. So,
But also...
Thank you. That was a joke for legal purposes. Legal purposes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is satire. This is
of all the
comedy, people. Of
all the things I've said in this podcast, my dad would find that joke the funniest, by the way. He would laugh really hard at that. He would chuckle. I'd hear his little hee hee hee, and it would be very cute. And I'd be like, yeah, I made my dad laugh. And then I'd feel proud because I still desperately crave his validation. What do you rate?
As do we all from our parents.
Yes. Yes, but especially when you have one that's a Tenenbaum. What do you want to get into ratings?
Yeah, let's get into ratings.
I don't know what I've given the other films. I love this movie. It is my favorite Wes Anderson film. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars.
I'm very comfortable just giving it a 4.
Okay. Wow, that's like the first time you and I have disagreed for a while. It feels like.
But you've always liked this movie more than me.
I have, and I always will. I mean,
and
notwithstanding
I think you have a
deeper
personal connection to this movie and Royal.
Apparently I do.
Apparently.
I didn't know that a week ago, but I know it now.
But for the last 2 hours, that's what we've been talking about.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I made it all about me.
Always.
I often wonder...
The Maggi podcast.
When I listen back to this show, I wonder whether or not people are like, will she shut the fuck up? Like, does she ever shut the fuck up? And the answer is no. And also, he likes it.
And also, I edit stuff out.
Yeah.
So the things that you guys haven't heard, be thankful that. So
there's a little bit of Royal Tenenbaum in me too.
So the stuff you have heard is stuff that I'm comfortable
letting
with.
the world know.
So if I'm comfortable with it, everybody, we're just having fun here.
loves me. Look, he's been putting up with me for this long. He accepted me at my Tenenbaumist and loves me for it still. So give me a break. But yeah, I love this movie. 4.5 stars. You give it a 4. I think that's respectable. It's definitely not his best work, Wes Anderson. I would say that either Fantastic Mr. Fox or The Grand Budapest are probably his best films. I mean, definitely Grand Budapest.
But still my favorite, Steve Zissou.
And my favorite's always going to be Royal. I don't even really like Steve Zissou that much, but I haven't given it a shot in a really long time.
At least 3 times. You really want to just let me know you hate it.
I don't hate it. I think I always disliked it because you disliked my favorite Wes Anderson film. So I was like, fuck you, I'm going to dislike yours.
Underwear.
So, Maggie.
Yes, honey.
I have 2 questions for you.
Hit it.
Lucky, listen to me. World's a complicated place. I taught you how to survive in the life that you were born into.
I know, Dad. Just thinking I'd like to get out of here alive.
You know, I bet you that dad is still a better dad than Royal Tenenbaums. I'm going to watch Lucky.
I do want to watch Lucky as well. Yeah. It looked interesting enough to at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
I love Annette Bening, which as a villain
love
too.
Annette Bening. Oh my God, she's so good. She really has fun with the villain. I loved her in Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel as a villain, yeah.
I love it.
William Fichtner is in it too.
I love William Fichtner. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
We,
Collins Jr.
Once we're done with this podcast and we're done with the editing of this podcast and we're free of this podcast for a minute, you and I have so much television we need to watch. So much. We need to get prepped for Ted Lasso. We're
really only taking
a month Daredevil.
A month break before we're recording again because
Halloween.
We're going to do some Halloween episodes, which I don't think we've really talked about.
Yeah, I mean, that's expected of us. Timothy Olyphant has been doing the talk show rounds to advertise for Lucky.
Yes.
And I have been able to tell both my husband and one of my dear friends, who both got equally excited about the fact that Timothy Olyphant has got that terrible bleach blonde hair again, which means they are filming Alien Earth Season 2.
Alien Earth Season 2.
Which I know everybody's super excited about.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm going to have to watch it.
Especially because I hope this time we get to see him in his
underwear.
And my sweet husband, who's like, let's not get into too many tangents. Tangent time. I just binged all of The 5-Star Weekend, which is Timothy Olyphant's recent show that he did. It's a series. It's 8 episodes on Peacock, and it is fucking mom television if I've ever seen it, and I, a mother, got sucked into it. And it's awful, and it's the entire time I was watching this fucking 8-part miniseries about rich, mostly white women in Nantucket, because of course. I just became David Rose, and most of the dialogue had me responding with, this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. It's so fucking stupid. I loved every second of it. Darcy Corden is a true, absolute gem of a human being, and she must be protected at all costs, and should also be in everything. She's amazing. Regina Hall was fantastic in it. It's cheesy as all get out. I loved Chloe Sevigny, and even though I cannot stand Jennifer Garner, and this show was so fucking dumb, every time she shared a half a second on screen to several minutes and a couple of scenes, wink, wink, with Timothy Olyphant, I could not take my eyes off of it. The chemistry those two have is unbelievable. So, watch it, but don't expect anything great, but expect something great, is all I'm saying. I hated it. It gets 5 stars.
Wow.
So,
well, that was the show you watched.
That's the show I watched.
I watched the first episode of The Beast in Me.
Oh.
With Claire Danes and Matthew Rhys.
Yeah, how's that?
First episode is very good, and
Matthew Rhys.
It's enough to get me into the next one. I know. After watching Willow's Bay, I was just like, man, I need to watch some more Matthew Rhys stuff. So that's where I went to, because I heard it was a good show. And I love Claire Danes too, because she's just beautiful and talented. Yeah.
I mean, they were nominated for Emmys
like
for it.
A shit ton.
Yeah.
Like
emanated.
29 total nominations.
No, that was Widow's Bay, not...
No. I mean, 29, like, just total nominations for the show.
Oh, for Widow's Bay? Or for The Beast and Me?
For The Beast and Me, but not Emmys.
Oh, okay.
Just total.
Yeah.
9 Emmys.
Widow's Bay fucking got nominated for all the Emmys it possibly could, and I really hope it gets some.
Well, 9 is still a great number.
9 is still a great amount, yeah. Well, I'm glad we're both enjoying our weird TV shows.
Yeah.
Timothy Olyphant.
So Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, he's so cute.
Would he have made the Royal Tenenbaums a better movie?
God, I haven't even thought about this, which is funny. No.
I would like to see Timothy Olyphant in a Wes Anderson film.
1000% give me... I think that Timothy Olyphant would be totally down for that sort of like bizarrely weird twee existence that Wes Anderson seems to live in. But no, I don't think he would have... I don't think his presence would have improved how I feel about this film.
Well, that being said, question number 2.
Yeah.
Who would you have had Timothy Olyphant play?
I think he should replace a Wilson brother. I think I'm shocked by saying I think that he... You know what? Oh, I don't want to say that he should replace Owen Wilson because I think Owen Wilson does such a good job in this, but I see him more in that role than I do see him as Richie. Right? Like, I think even as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I think Timothy Olyphant could have pulled off, especially like the long hair and then the short hair and everything. But there's something about the quiet resonance of Luke Wilson's jawline that is necessary for Richie. And even though I think that Owen is the better brother in this movie in general, like I enjoy his character more, I think that if we were going to like shoehorn Timothy into any of it, he would have been a really fun Eli Cash. Now that being said, since there are no rules and I can do whatever I want,
as a tennis player.
If we could have gotten an older Timothy Olyphant as the Bill Murray character, that would have been fun. I think he would have had fun with that role. Or a very young one as Dudley. But no, I think that I would have to replace a Wilson, and I think it's going to have to be Owen, which is unfortunate. I could see him. I think he could go either way when it comes to the Wilson brothers, but I see him more as a Eli than a Richie.
I think he could have played Luke Wilson. Like a tennis player wearing that headband.
Mm-hmm. It would have been look. I mean, I could have
shaving
seen
his
it.
face and head.
I'm going to kill myself today. Tomorrow. I'm going to kill myself tomorrow.
I don't know if he could have delivered that line the same way with as much. Like, Luke Wilson did a good job delivering that line.
He really kills it. I mean, that entire sequence in the bathroom is probably some of Luke Wilson's best acting.
What I've seen.
What I've seen.
Isn't everything, but I've seen a lot.
Yeah, and he also hasn't...
mostly comedic.
Luke hasn't worked with Wes Anderson since then. I don't know if they had a falling out or what, but
Owen has.
Yeah. So... I don't know.
You never know.
You never know. But I'd like to think
maybe
that
he doesn't want to. Maybe
Timothy Olyphant would be a hell of a lot of fun as any random Wes Anderson character. Just put him in tweed and
I would like to
see
him in one.
Please and thank you, Wes Anderson. And that has been this week's episode of Movie Mingle on the Royal Tenenbaums, and we hope that you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Next week... we're finishing out season 2, and we're finishing out strong with Zootopia 2. We started our animation block with Zootopia, and now we're watching the sequel for the first time. Will I like it more than Zootopia 1, which I shockingly didn't enjoy? Will it be an adventurous time filled with cute reptiles and adorable bunnies that people definitely get weird about on the internet? Find out next week. We'll have some good times there. In the meantime, you can find us on Instagram, Threads, and Letterboxd at movieminglepod. You can find us on YouTube at Movie Mingle Podcast, and you can write us any of your thoughts, concerns, questions, and comments and complaints and general bullshittery at movieminglepod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We've done 99 real episodes of this podcast, which, considering that it is a little endeavor on our dining room table in the middle of our tiny living room, I think is something to be very proud of and to be very kind of happy about, this incredible accomplishment that my nerdy husband and I have achieved. So feel free to tell people about us, to spread the word, to let your friends know or your coworkers know, your nerds, let your nerds know about this silly little podcast with this husband and wife couple where she talks too much and he's so very cute. And he lets her obsess over other men. Look on your face. We do a lot here. We put a lot of love in our heart into this wonderful little project of ours. So spread the word. Until next week, take care of yourselves in this big, wide, strange world out there. Be nice to each other. Be kind to each other. And remember, have fun out there, folks. Now let's shake ass. Bye!
Are you an effective team?
We are an effective team.
Let them fight.
How did you just do that?
I'm a really good lawyer.
Here on Caladan, we ruled by air power and sea power. On Arrakis, we need to cultivate desert power.
Welcome, Mr. Beach. What's that bar? I'm a little confused.
Well, we wouldn't want that, would we?
I don't want to brag, but I will. I was in the Avengers.
The Avengers?
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
What is that?
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Toga, 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 toga.